Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Oh, look, it's my mom is here.
Oh, hey, Joanna.
And we have Bob Dole, Daniel Hobbs, Jory Jordan, Tommy Buck, and Chris. How is everybody doing today?
Joanna, watch out for Chris. Just all I gotta say. Hey, Chris. Excuse me.
So today it's Mags and I. Better than just me by myself last week.
Aw, I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. We had a good we had a good chat about the Magna Carta. So
I watched.
It was good. People say that I had some weird echoing sound problems, but still understand me, so it's okay.
I think she has solved that issue.
Yes. And we are matching. We have our orange. Orange. It's 61 degrees where Tommy is.
The body state.
What is the temperature here today? It is 73 right now.
I believe it is 38 or 39.
It's gonna rain today. Gonna get up to the 80s though. So hello, David Dodd. And hello, Hillary. Snuck in there. Hello, Pip. And Pip says hi, Blueberry Pie.
Hello.
And then hello, Janine. Did I miss anybody else?
David, are we cousins?
I feel like you ask that every time.
Of David or other people?
I feel like you've asked him once before, but I don't know. Maybe I'm... Hello, Isabel.
Isabel.
Yeah, you haven't been on one of these in a while, I think. I feel like. Maybe.
We see you.
We see you. 43 in where David is in Washington.
Tacoma.
Yeah, David agrees. He thinks you have asked him.
I promise I'll ask you again and again and again.
55 where Pip is in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. So, anybody else? Anybody on Facebook here? I haven't seen anybody watching from Facebook today. Oh, look, there's Dawn. Just as I said it, it was like there was like this spidey sense.
Yes. I'm a Bond.
I am not in the basement. I just have stairs in my house. That's all.
And they're beautiful stairs. I love your place.
Mags is in the basement, so I don't know why we're not talking about her being in the basement.
I prefer to call it the lowest floor of the house.
Oh, David's a Bond. I feel like I remember that.
Bond, James Bond. I remember that too. Hey, yes, I saw your note, Janine. We are 16, but that's Celsius, so it's
what is that in
58? It's 58, 59. It's close to 60.
Okay. I'm excited for when it starts to dip down a little bit more here. Shaken, not stirred.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, for a proper martini should always be shaken, not stirred. So having to ask seems,
Hey, Eileen, how are you?
Anybody have anything interesting going on this weekend?
Really? Oh, I do.
Oh, what are you up to, Mags?
I'm doing a keynote for a conference today at 1:30.
You're just busy all the time. It seems like you just have all these presentations to do.
It's 3 or 4 a week. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you had that like that pop-up one last week.
Well, that was a conference that I didn't realize that I had to be there for the whole day. Like they wanted us, the speakers present. So I had to go and be available at 10 o'clock for the opening of the conference. And then in between each one of the talks, we had to appear on our little Zoom chat. So.
Okay.
Don't WikiTree drunk kids. Oh, he's talking about more rum and coke, please, from Chris Ferriello.
Yes.
I used to drink that occasionally in college, but I drank a lot more beer in college.
I like to drink tequila.
Tequila stays with me for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and like I can taste it.
And weeks.
Yeah, forever and
ever.
You want to do the photos of the week first, and I'll do?
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, let's. So we're gonna kind of switch it up today.
So we're gonna
do the profile of the week and the photo of the week, and then we will go into the question of the week, because Mag's gonna also talk about a little bit of other stuff about the question of the week. And if you guys have questions about the question of the week, then Mag's just like, okay, Sarah, okay.
The question, but if you have questions about the question of the week, then what kind of questions would you ask if you had questions about the questions of the week?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So our profile of the week this week was Alfred Nobel.
Nobel?
Nobel? I don't know why I said Nobel. Nobel?
Nobel.
You know, the Nobel Peace Prize, Nobel Prize. Ta-da! So, and then we also featured a whole bunch of other Nobel Prize winning scientists. Like, I don't even, these have a lot of these names. So, Albert Szent-Györgyi.
I can't even see the screen. It's so small.
So we have this guy.
Oh, yeah. You did a great job with that name, Sarah.
Thank you. And then we have Niels Bohr.
Oh, you got that one right. That's one of my favorites.
Niels Bohr. Wilhelm Röntgen.
Yeah. The umlaut over the O.
Marie Curie.
You got that one.
Sir Alexander Fleming.
What? You're just going through the names. What did these people do, Sarah?
Okay, sorry. So Albert, he was known for discovering vitamin C. So that's what he did. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And he got the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1937. I guess we're not sure.
Is that the
one
first
of them?
No, okay.
So, yes. So it's vitamin C guy, Niels Bohr. What did he do?
He's a physicist.
Yes. So in 1922, he won it for his work on atomic structure and quantum mechanics.
Yes.
And a lot of these are, doesn't seem like any of them.
I have a very close family friend that is a Nobel Prize winner. He invented the laser. Charles Towns. He is on WikiTree too.
So Wilhelm was he produced and detected the electromagnetic radiation that is known today as X-rays. He won this in 1901. He was awarded the first Nobel Prize in physics for his discovery.
I wonder what his lifespan was.
Like when he was born and died?
Yeah, 1845 to 1823.
1923.
1923.
And then we have Marie Curie. who was physicist and chemist who conducted pioneering research on radioactivity. The first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Then we have Sir Alexander Fleming, who was a biologist, pharmacologist, and botanist. And he won penicillin, right? Yes, penicillin. He's a penicillin guy. I knew his name sounded familiar. It's like I knew this name, penicillin. And then we have Howard Florey. He was a boot manufacturer. Oh no, that was his dad was a boot manufacturer. Oh, also penicillin. Two penicillin guys. And then we have Henry Becquerel. Probably Isabel's here. She could correct me. It's a French name. Oh no, that first part is in French. He received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903 together with Marie and Pierre Curie for the radioactivity and something about Becquerel. Oh, I guess it was named after him. There you go. I'm learning so much stuff. I love these profiles of the week because I always learn things I didn't know before. And look, we have another woman Nobel Prize winner here, Barbara Mcclintock. And she genetics and botany. Where does it say what she did? The Nobel Prize for her discovery of the mobile genetic elements. In 1983, she won it. So there are our three. What three? There are more than three. And then we have Alfred Nobel, who
Nobel.
Nobel. I'm just stuck on the Nobel. Look at his big tombstone. Damn. So yeah, those are our profiles of the week. All these people who won the Nobel Prizes. Who are you guys most closely connected to? Honey,
Daniel Hobbs says he's 21 away from Barbara. And Isabel said that she's 15 degrees from Becquerel.
I seem like I'm closest to Barbara as well. Barbara McClintock.
I wasn't very close to any of these.
I mean, I'm usually I'm in the 20-ish degrees.
Well, I'm like up there. I don't consider something close even until it's like down near 10 or 11.
I don't get that close because I have, I don't know, my family's strange. And it's always through my grandmother. All my connections are through my grandmother. My paternal grandmother. So those are our profiles of the week, guys.
Yay!
I hope everybody learned something new about these people. Maybe do go in and read their bios. Yes.
I don't think Chris is going to learn anything new because he's just still drinking rum and Coke.
He's also talking about wine. My mom says because Nobel was noble. That makes sense to me.
Good way to take up for your daughter there.
I've always struggled with pronunciation, so I don't know. So it's something I've struggled with since I was a child. Okay, photos of the week. Our theme this week was love. Love. Okay, sorry.
Love.
So we have 13 images. Some of these are really cute. I looked at them briefly already. Look at that. Look at how he's like looking at her hand. How cute. This was in England. Oh, look, her last name was Love. That's a funny twist on the theme. I'm sure there's a story behind that. I might have to go real quick to the G2G post. Oh, look, their wedding cake. I always forget when I'm looking at these photos on Saturday. I was like, I have some photos I could have uploaded for this, and then I forget. Another wedding photo. Obviously makes sense for love. These guys are playing apparently a love song. Another wedding photo of a cake cutting. Oh, this is a cute one. Looks like the grandfather loves the grandson, and the son looks like he loves whatever he's holding.
Is that a toy or a
That's
bear?
what I don't know. Looks like I have no idea. I guess we'll have to go see if there's a story about that. Plina and her father. Oh, that's a cute photo. I like that. That is
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Love of music, graduating with associates in music. I always like to see how people take the theme and, Then we have a few more. On the next page. A loving family. Axel, Alice, and baby Dorothy.
Oh.
Oh, that one's a cute one too. Well, that one's kind of blurry, but I think we get the idea of that one.
Yep.
Okay,
I want it. Yeah, there you go.
Let's look at. So let's see. Okay, this is a 1920 photo of my great-grandfather Thomas McCleary with his only grandchild, my father. Even though Thomas had fathered 5 children, one had died young. One son was killed in World War I. The other 2 sons did not have children. Only my grandmother had blessed him with the grandson that he dearly loved. Also, my father loved his favorite toy, his teddy bear.
Aww. That is
cute.
A very sweet photograph.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's one that wasn't there.
Gustav Lawrence and his wife, Sophia.
And their beloved granddaughter.
Aww.
At a wedding. That's cute. Oh. Anita died in 1952 in a traffic accident. Oh.
While riding her bicycle.
That's a wedding photo.
That's a beautiful. It's colorized or?
Oh, yeah. It has 1963.
Yeah. That's a nice picture.
Then the grandparents on their wedding day in 1933.
Nice.
Their marriage ended, oh no, when my grandmother passed away during childbirth in 1938. Oh, that's sad. So, picture of my grandmother Plina and her father, William Lane. He was an itinerant woodcutter and very poor. Plina's mother died when Plina was only 5, and she went to live in the Troy orphanage.
Aww.
But this picture, she and her father are happy together.
That's very sweet.
Okay, this one was the one I wanted to look at because there are some. Hold on. Apparently, this is his. So, someone who loved their country, Major Dale Amelia Allison. He served his country well for many years. He is in uniform about 1943. So just love for their country. Not anything else. Oh,
that's
they're
sweet.
married for 60 years.
Oh my gosh.
60 years.
Let's move on from that one.
So the one about the music. They said I went literal with this one with the Mary Love tombstone. See if there were any other. Oh, here's one that we didn't see, I don't think. The family of James Ross Bird. My second great grandfather all loved each other. See his wife's profile. I think it's big. Yeah, there we go. Bigger than what? Big loving family.
I don't see love in that picture.
Well, like did they say they
look like, well, and what year is it? So they're sitting very still for the picture, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So this person lived from 1830 to 1900. The one person in the photo.
So that looks like what, turn of the century, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very stylish picture, though. Everybody is posed very carefully, so maybe that's why they don't look. I wonder if the photographer made it not look so. She's got some good pictures going on.
Mm-hmm. Just look at all her pictures. 6 images. On a look, Coach, she made a Valentine.
That's cute. Twoo-wah.
Twoo-wah.
It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, me too. I love that movie. If you guys don't know what movie we're talking about, it is Princess Bride. Look it up.
I wish. The picture you just showed, go back up that one, that reminds me of my granddad and me. Yeah, I was just thinking I have a picture of him somewhere around here, and my brother and sister and I are playing in the sandbox. There's no love going on between me and my siblings, but my grandfather is giggling over whatever it was going on. So, who's that? Rosalie?
Oh, that was I was blessed with parents who were very easy to love and who loved us all. They showed us every day they were alive. This was me and my mom. So Rosalie Neve, Mex Rosalie. Wait, me plus Rose. Okay, that was her mom. Okay.
Good one.
There we go. And that was the end.
That's the end.
That's the end of the photos of the week.
Are the
Thank
photos
everybody for sharing.
What's the theme of the photo of the week next week? Is it Halloween?
Next week? I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope it's Halloweeny, but I will be. I think today we're kind of do like where you can post like your Halloween costume, or maybe if you carved pumpkin or you decorated something real cool, I'll have like a Halloween post where you can post your Halloweeny photos, and we can look at those next week. I want to post that today. I'm excited. I started working on my costume, guys.
Yes, we were talking last night.
Great.
It's going to be just incredible, that costume.
It's going to be ridiculous, but we all know that because it's me. But it's going to be great.
I'm not sure ridiculous will fit your costume as well as it will fit my costume. My costume is ridiculous. Yours is wonderful.
Well, wonderfully ridiculous.
Very timely and very specific to you and this LiveCast situation.
It's true.
Going on.
True. Yeah. I'm also going to wear it to work as well. So
really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Because we get to dress up at work, so I'm going to wear it to work.
But so you're not going to tell us what it is or show it until next week, right?
No, but I think if people have been following along, they might already know what it is because I've mentioned it. But Chris knows because I also talked to Chris about it last night. But unless you just have to wait and see.
Don't forget to like the stream on Facebook and anywhere else you can. Give us some thumbs ups. thumbs ups. But just, love us, man. Love us. Love us.
Pip
Love
usually reminds everybody.
Love Sarah. Love Sarah.
Thanks for the reminder, Pam.
Woo!
Yeah, my cat was kind of upset because I was working on my costume and I didn't let her lay on it. So she was mad at me. So that's why she doesn't like it. Okay. So now I guess it's time to the question of the week. What was the question of the week this week, Mags?
You know what? We had an interesting question of the week that was right up my alley. Let me switch my screens here a bit. And there it is. Question of the week. Has mitochondrial DNA helped you discover or confirm any ancestors? And there was lots and lots of great answers. It had 1,500 views, which was great. And even couldn't even get out of the comments before we even got to the answers. But first off, I'm going to say that mitochondrial DNA, a lot of people don't realize what it is. And I'm going to real quickly show you what it is, but I don't want to bore people with stuff. So mitochondrial...
Bore us, Mags.
What's that?
Bore us.
Bore
Tell us what mtDNA is.
My name is not Boris. Mitochondrial DNA is the mother's line. It's the matrilineal line of mothers. It's not the maternal side of your family, which could include everybody, men and women. But the way mitochondrial DNA is inherited is it goes from a mother. This is the little piece of DNA finding that its way to that mother, and it travels down from the mother to her children, and both her sons and her daughters will inherit mitochondrial DNA. But as we move down, we see that a son who inherits his mother's mitochondrial DNA does not pass it down to his children. So only the women can pass along that mitochondrial DNA. So if you had a question in your family and you were looking for mitochondrial DNA testers, and you knew that your father, you wanted to find out what this woman's DNA was, and you were one of these kids, you could test your father and find out what her mitochondrial DNA was. Or you could find one of your cousins over here and get them to test. So it moves on like that, just mother to children, from daughters to children, from daughter to children, from daughter to children, but it's the matrilineal line. And the biggest problem with mitochondrial DNA is that we live in a patriarchal society, so that when we're trying to do research on mitochondrial DNA, it's not like Y DNA. You put somebody's Y DNA in, and you can even come up with a surname for somebody in a family. You can't do that with mitochondrial DNA because most times it doesn't happen as much here in Canada, I think France as well. But for a lot of people, they take the husband's surname for their own. I know that is not the natural course of things in Canada, although it does happen. But women in Canada often keep their own surnames rather than. But it makes the research stuff hard for that. So, and here is a look at a fan chart. So my brother and I both would inherit our mitochondrial DNA directly down our line. And it actually goes back one more to my brick wall. But straight down your mother's mitochondrial DNA line. So back to the question of the week. Let's see if I can figure out how to pull that back up. There we go. So a lot of people wanted to know, wanted to say that they have done stuff with mitochondrial DNA. Tim Stanley says that he had this family lore in his family about having indigenous or Native American. And he was able to find mitochondrially that he has a 5th great grandmother in Western Canada who is Native. So Tim Stanley, good on you. Yes, a close cousin found his mother's biological parents through a very difficult trail by contacting me via her mitochondrial DNA. And this guy worked out his biological connection to her family. And so now we get down to the bottom of this little story, and she says, oops, it was autosomal DNA. Well, that's kind of like my story as well. I had a really close connection who posted his wife's mitochondrial DNA, but put his name in. So we did his DNA, and we found that he was not mitochondrially related to me, but he is autosomally, and his wife is as well. So it's interesting. Marilyn Boker says she's being cautious about her work. Crystal McLean asks, where can you test for mitochondrial DNA? You can test at Family Tree DNA to get a mitochondrial full sequence run. And then you can also test at YSeq, YSeq. Those are the two testing companies that are currently doing mitochondrial DNA. You can also upload any mitochondrial or Y DNA to WikiTree, and then have WikiTree do connections for you. I'll bring mine up real quick here. So you can see that I have mine uploaded to mitowydna.org, and straight from WikiTree, you can look at those DNA connections, and you can actually go right off of your DNA page and do comparisons and tests by clicking on the MitoWide link there. So WikiTree is integrated with MitoWide. It's a free and accessible nonprofit DNA database. So that's that. Let's see, Sherry Houston Holston she's experimenting with it, so she's learning about it. She's learning about all that information that she can find on WikiTree, but she has her biggest problem is to find a match, and then they don't have a tree, so that's hard. And Rodney Bowers says that mitochondrial DNA has been utterly useless. Tracy O'Brien is talking about her information, and she's talking about her mitochondrial DNA haplogroup being the Tuareg, the Galicia, Wales, the Tuareg people from Morocco. She's H31B1B, which is reported by MyHeritage, which presents a little bit of an issue. Having that information is very, very generalized. The autosomal DNA tests like MyHeritage, Ancestry, 23andMe, Family Tree DNA, Family Finder, and Living DNA, they can give you very, very high level haplogroup information, but it's not as specific as a mitochondrial DNA test on its own. The mitochondrial DNA test tests HVR1 regions, HVR2, 3, and the coding regions, whereas the autosomal portion of those tests can only do like 25 markers or so, and they can only give you a haplogroup information. It doesn't give you subclade information or information where, if you imagine that there's a big tree coming down with all of our information from whoever the originator was, it won't tell you all the deep stuff out here. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at your information from one of the autosomal DNA testing companies. A lot of people are talking about that they found their information. There are a lot of people who say no, in their opinion, mitochondrial DNA tests are not useful. Kevin Ireland says that. And then M. Thill answers him by saying, I was able to confirm my birth grandfather through DNA tests that my half cousin and I submitted. It's interesting, but she did that through autosomal DNA testing. Kathy Forbes says no for me too, and she's got her earliest ancestor. lots and lots of great people are talking about haplogroup information, which is great. And you can find your origins information from haplogroups. Haplogroups are where our group of people who came out of Africa, they traveled and mutated and changed. And every time your haplogroup mutates and changes, we identify that geographically. It really has nothing to do with ethnicity. That when people say their ethnicity estimates, that's really a misnomer. It's where we were geographically, where our mutations happen. So I had my last mutation happened in northern Poland or northern Germany, and all of those people went into Norway. So technically I'm Norwegian at that point in time, but that was so many thousands of years ago. Lisa Hazard says, yep, I got lucky. It provided supporting evidence for my 5th grade grandmother, for whom we already had a solid paper trail. Cool. One match at ftDNA full sequence at a genetic distance of 0 is also a maternal line descendant of Phoebe Jones. So it was great in confirming that information with the paper trail. Mitochondrial DNA from C. Ryder says, mitochondrial DNA has made me realize there's probably a grandmother from Scandinavia in my tree, but that's as far as it goes. So C. Ryder, you're J1B1A1A. If you are if you are Scandinavian, you have lots and lots and lots of possibilities because of the way the Viking incursions into Europe and Iceland and across into northern Canada, and about 1,000 years ago, you could have little bits of Scandinavian all over the place. I in particular do. I'm going to zoom ahead in my slides here. I have. Can I actually put in? There we go. There is a really great bit of information about match probabilities. If you have a match probability, you can see why working with mitochondrial DNA is hard to do, because even with a full sequence, ftDNA is only 50% confident that they can tell you that you have an ancestor that might be related to someone else that's a match to you in about 125 years. And if they go up to almost 100% confidence level, it's going to be about 550 years ago. So you have to keep that in mind. And here's another one. This was actually my haplogroup, and it talks about this is where the reference sample is up here, the RS, and it comes down through our people in Africa, coming out of Africa, and how it's changed. H haplogroup is 47% of the people in the world, and that haplogroup began about 15,000 years ago. And then you can see a lot of places will give you that high level haplogroup of H or H1, or even H1 here. You can see that's still about 4,000 years ago. So here is my subclade with a full sequence test, and its last mutation was 3,300 years ago. So if I have a bunch of people who match me exactly at a 0 genetic distance, then it could possibly be 3,300 years ago. So that's one of the things that makes doing DNA hard. Yeah. So let's see, what else was I going to show? Oh, and there's a really cool study that was done just recently, and this actually answers the Scandinavian question. You can see how my haplogroup came out of Norway and came into Northern Ireland and Scotland. It kind of switched back and forth. And then this new report for how 4 British migrations defined America by Frank Jacobs just a couple of weeks ago, you can see how my people in Northern Ireland and this little bit of Scotland, we went to Appalachia. There's a group of people from mid-northern England who went to Pennsylvania in the Midwest. And then this other group that went to Virginia and the lowland South. So these people ended up in low country South. And then there are other people from this area of England who went to New England. So that's a fascinating report to help you with your mitochondrial DNA. Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's go back to the question of the week. So I think that I have actually answered some of the extra questions. People, it's a very hard type of DNA to work with because of the name changes. Women's names change, so it's hard to figure out where their family was. And also because mutations in mitochondrial DNA don't happen as frequently as they do for Y DNA. So it's a really tough thing. What I have ended up doing is I'm doing a geographical study, and I'm actually using WikiTree to do that. If I go down to my earliest known ancestor on my mitochondrial DNA line, let's go here. What I've done is I've created this template can go on this because she's my earliest known full sequence mitochondrial DNA ancestor. And because I've added that, I've been able to create, I've put her in the Georgia brick walls, the South Carolina brick walls, the North Carolina brick walls, and the Virginia brick walls, because every census record she's on, her place of birth changes from North Carolina to Virginia. So it's crazy. But I was also able to create this, which is a group 1 haplogroup for my haplogroup subclade. And these are all the people who match my ancestor. And these are the earliest known ancestors for that particular subclade. And my 0 or 1 distance, I don't think I have any zeros. I only have 1 distance people. But I know for a fact this person right here has the same surname as my earliest known ancestor does for her married surname, and they lived in the same county in the same time frame in upstate Georgia. So there's a very good chance that this person right here, who is actually the guy that I said accidentally put his wife's DNA in under his name, well, he actually tracks back to that same person. So his wife and he and I all match mitochondrially and autosomally. So I have a feeling that this person right here is going to bust open my brick wall. But all of these other people are people who also match. And I can see that they are in fairly close proximity to where my earliest known ancestor on my matrilineal line lives. So I've started grouping these people together, and one of the things that I need to do is really dive into these ladies and see if I can figure out how they might connect to my earliest known ancestor and hopefully break down that brick wall. So doing mitochondrial DNA is hard, but it's one of those things that you can do, and it helps. So there's the question of the week.
Thank you, Meg. Does anybody have any questions about mtDNA for my mom asked if we had done this. No, Mom. So we have not done mtDNA yet. It's a more expensive test too, kind of like. I want to do it,
Mom. Mom, it's an expensive test, Mom. But Mom, you could get tested and it would be the same as mine, Mom.
But then I would have to get my dad tested too, so I can do his, right?
That's true.
And his matrilineal line.
Mom.
Then I have to do the Y DNA test on my dad too.
I'm going back reading the comments here. Cool.
Christmas gift ideas. Mom.
Actually, Brian Nash, here in the region that I live in, maybe it's because we're so close to Quebec, it is quite common to run into people who do not take the man's name in marriage. I know, I would say the majority of the women that I know in Ontario that I know are anywhere in Canada have not taken their husband's name. So haven't done a mitochondrial DNA test, but WikiTree did create a matrilineal line all the way to France for Chris Ferriello. We thought you were, I thought you were Italian, Chris. What's up with this?
He
You mean
probably has a little he has a little French.
Boy, no wonder you're so passionate.
Got the French and the Italian.
Yeah. Are you a good cook? That's the question.
Pip says he's maxed out on tests.
Yeah.
Have they just taken all of your DNA, Pip, and so you don't really have anything left to give? Oh, look, my cat has decided to join me.
You know you can get your cat tested, too.
I just don't, not that invested in my cat's DNA and history, so.
It's amazing me, the people that are. I have friends who are breeders.
Did Julie do her dog?
Yeah, I think she did. She did Casey, didn't she? Or did she did? I think she did both. Joey and Casey. Julie's on the road again.
On the road again.
I just can't wait to get on the road again. Okay. All right.
So I didn't really see anybody pop up with a question for mtDNA.
No, I hope I answered questions, and that's why there's no questions. Are there
any? You did a good job. It was a very good overview of mtDNA.
Yeah, I didn't want to bore everybody.
I don't think so. I wasn't bored.
Good.
See, you got my mom interested, which was good.
Yeah, Mom.
Maybe she fell asleep. Who knows?
I think that when you started talking about the expense of it, and I started going, Mom, I think she left.
Maybe.
She went to get coffee or something.
Highly likely. Okay. So, I guess we're pretty much done for today.
Yeah.
Next week, don't forget, we're doing a Halloween special.
Ghosts in a Tree.
If anybody wants to come on next week, and be in their costume, please send me a message. I'm more than happy to have more people on live. Just let's fill us up with everybody in costumes.
How many people can we have in one of these live casts?
Maybe 9?
9, okay.
6? Maybe 6? 6 or 9. I have to double check. Chris is gonna be on. I don't know about Azure. Maybe we'll get Julie. I don't know. I will be here. Mags will be here. Maybe Pip can Pip can be in his, full.
No, don't do that, Pip. That's not a costume for you.
It's not a costume, but
no,
do you have a costume?
No kilts. It has to be a real Halloween costume. A real
What
one.
is a real Halloween costume?
Anything other than a kilt.
Let's see. I don't know. Anybody who wants to come on, let's do it. And like I said, I'm going to post that G2G post. So if you wanted to share photos of your Halloween adventures, but I'm also thinking that we might miss some photos showing them Saturday morning because maybe a lot of people will take photos Saturday night. I don't know. But at least we can look at some stuff.
We can look at photos. Post your pictures of your costumes. Post pictures in the question of the week or the photo of the week. We're going to make the photo of the week be about Halloween, whether Chris or Aowen or Abby or whoever's doing it says so. So the photo of the week next week is Halloween.
I'll just make a separate G2G post.
Have they already posted the question or the...
No, not yet. Okay. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to post a G2G thread just about Halloween in general, so you can post your photos.
Why don't we do this? I have an idea. Why don't we just post a Ghosts in the Tree thread, and we can cover anything and everything in there.
Anything Halloween, really, if you want to tell us a scary story.
Post your pictures.
Yeah, anything. Anything goes. And then we'll go through that next week.
I was thinking today I need to go and add ghosts to my spouse's great-grandfather who is a ghost. So he was featured on a TV show as a ghost. So.
Oh, yeah, you had kind of made a clip about that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, not last week, the week before.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
So
Ghosts?
there is a category. What's fun to do on WikiTree is look up the name Frankenstein. People really have that name.
So I think you saw it. Maybe some of the people saw it. How somebody found a Freddy Krueger who lived on Elm Street on Ancestry. Mm-hmm.
Thomas
And
McKenty.
then Amy Udding took it upon herself to make him a profile and his family's profile on WikiTree. So now he's officially a WikiTree Freddy Krueger on Elm Street. So anything's possible.
Anything's possible on a LiveCast.
That's that too. Well, look out for that post. I'll do that. If I don't do it right when we finish this, I will do it later on today. But be on the lookout for that. And we will see you next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.
Be safe, stay well,